Welcome to Crawl or No Crawl. This is Carolyn Holzman. Today is July 17th, day number 682 of the Indexation Research Project. If you haven't got a chance to read it, check out the Ultimate Guide of the New Inspection Toolbots. It's a more complete than Google's documentation at the moment, and it also includes the story of what went on in the last 2 weeks before the GA4 migration. So the link will be in the description on there. It's on American Way Media. Now, going back over here, it has been a week since retheming the new, the test site, which I've switched over to the mobile test site. That's what this indicates, the M versus the D. And just so you know, it doesn't take an act of Congress to get Google to recrawl a site after not publishing for almost 4 months. So I presume that's going to be the same no matter how long it's been since you published. But it was a question, right? So Search Console, still I'm experiencing a slight sluggishness in the uptake of a revised sitemap. I do that prior to requesting indexation. And, it's kind of like when you know someone really well and you pick up on their micro-facial movements. Probably no one else would know they're upset, but you do because you've seen it before. And that's what I'm saying here. It's not that it's broken or anything, but it usually signifies something. So keep that in mind. Now, one thing that did happen, obviously, even yesterday's content was findable by its keywords within less than 24 hours. So the indexation system seems to be working fine. We had a Search Console coverage update last night, and it has pushed it to 7:15. So when you go in Search Console and you look under the pages on the indexation side on the left-hand side, and then the pages, you'll see once that page renders, look over towards the right and about a little bit down, you'll see the same date. Okay, now here's something interesting. Now, one of the measurements you may or may not know is like the date of the index state. What does that mean? So it's a measurement that will tell me a version of a page when it gets updated and recrawled frequently. So I have a page that is updated and recrawled frequently. And I have set it up to where it can tell me when I look for it for the test, it tells me which version of the page, what date, is Google using in the Search Console. So let me show you what that looks like. And here's a screenshot of it. So basically, the reason why this is so important, I'll show you graphically what all this means. I just put these in my notes for myself. But let me show you what that looks like. So this page looks like what you just saw, that it says it's rendered the July 6th. Now, if you look last week, you'll see that the state of the index was 7.6 all last week, and then it went up yesterday to 7.13. Now, this is separate from the Search Console update. This is specifically that page. And so I'm not saying this is index-wide, but what I am saying is it's kind of interesting to me that Google has gone back to an earlier version of the page and used that. So, of course, that's what's in the search results. So if on 7.6 you publish something, like last week, and it was in that time frame, let me rephrase that. All right. So if you publish something after 7.6 and you can't find it by its keywords, that's because you might be caught up in a little test net. Because I'm talking about, I'm not saying the entire index is reversed. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to illustrate. So, like I say, I think it's a segment or a portion of the index that they roll back, and then they run tests to see what happens. Now, I think this is another way to say we might have high volatility. So if you are wondering if you're in this, look for content that just has dropped out without any explanation. And what will happen is it will also come back without you changing a thing. So I'm going back to we've always cautioned after announced updates that there are aftershocks when things pop in and they pop out, and not to make changes as a reflex to content dropping out, because it's not likely that it's you, but Google's testing something. So if you change things, you actually can change your ranking, but not intend to, not in a good way. So, like I say, the page indexing report updated here from July 10th to July 15th. And then I tested this page, and it showed me that this page has reverted back to in SERPs, not on my site, but in SERPs, how it appeared on July 6th after being updated yesterday to July 13th version. Okay? So that's what I'm saying, that the portion of the index that this test page lives in might be broken down by data centers. But, we don't know that. And assuming that software tools are tracking sites that might be part of this potential testing, we might continue to see the high volatility that we've been seeing for so long. So, like, just reminders, last week, it was pretty high, and it's been high for a long time. And it just kind of seems to have gone up and up and up. Now, just because you don't experience it doesn't mean it's not a thing for the portion of the index. So if you are fine and high and dry and everything's cool for you, don't discount what other people are saying, because it can happen to you the next time. Now, what I also am saying is servability is a topic of the day. Regardless of how we request Google to crawl our content or our backlinks data, there is field evidence that indicates that the issue now is with content in the assigning of the keyword phrase that we can't see. So Google, you can go through the crawling and the indexing system and get stopped there when it talks about the ranking and the serving. And if you are at all wondering what the heck I'm talking about, if you look for search status dashboard, you're going to see that the words that I use. And so, I didn't just make them up. So Google has said this is how their index system works. Come on. So they have crawling and indexing. I think this is where the keyword is assigned, and then they rank you. And if you are in the top 100 or 200, you're going to get served. And that's not always the case. A lot of times people are reporting that they publish new content and Search Console tells them it's indexed, but they cannot find it by its keywords. And that's the part that I'm talking about, that it's the content assigning or the keyword assigning portion of the indexing system that is seemingly different now. And on that note, this fall I'll be reopening my forensic SEO training in September, and I'm going to be adding in a helpful content diagnostic for the purpose of helping SEOs be able to tell if the site's been impacted by the helpful content system. There'll be a link in there, and it'll take you to a page, but I'll be updating the page by the end of the month with specific dates, but that'll give you an idea of the previous trainings. Anyway, check out this week's Confessions of an SEO. New episodes launch every Friday. Thanks for your time, and I will see you later.